a little hole in the wall, but I'm gonna tell you what, you eat from here, you'll want to throw them other chain restaurant subs away. Subway, Jersey Mike's, any of your big chain places. Sometimes finding a little hole in the wall place is the way to go. The buildings might not be much to look at, but when it comes to eating, we're not real estate developers. Let me take you inside. And they give you a warning up front that it's the best Phillies. That's what they specialize in. But they have multiple things on the menu. And not so bad. It just went up. It, like, sandwich, amazing. The lever had broke and I couldn't wind the cord. My thing's just been kind of dangling out here. And there's its replacement. Undo this and reattach it. I'm using a pair of channel locks. These ain't technically the right ones, but I don't feel like getting my plumbing bag out of the building. The correct ones have a circular indentation right here, and they're actually made for grabbing rounded pipe without stripping it. But we'll make do with these. Alright, now I actually came across a problem. This is an old contractor trick. I notice I'm grabbing this and I'm trying to turn it, and because we're on a brick foundation and I got a tile ground, this cast iron pipe's in here and it's wanting to move, but everything's dry and there's no leakage, so I don't want to mess up anything that's not already messed up. I'm gonna use this cinder block as a stopper, and I'm gonna press it against it and hold it with my foot while I turn the dial. Alright, now I got it in position. Alright, now that it's in position, I got my foot weighing it down. I'm gonna take this off with no problems and not have to mess with that pipe on the bottom, which it's put on very well, and I don't want to cause a leakage where there's not one. Now that I'm getting ready to put the new one on, I'm going to use the cinder block on the counters on the clockwise side for the same result. Alright, I'm going to get it started with my hand, and when it gets to the point where I can't hand turn it, I'm going to crank it 3 times with the wrench and then check for water leakage. You can hear the water in the container and see it here, dry connection, and check here for make sure we didn't bust anything loose. Now that I know that this is all dry, I can cut this off and we move to the next point. This is also, if you wanted to, you could use that white tape, that white thread tape, but I didn't. You do it when you're feeding it in for the first time, make sure you use the slot and you don't go over the top like somebody tried to.
We're not talking if you want us to just...
Okay, and now what we're going to do is we tightened it here, just like before. Before we wind the hose up, we're going to check for water leakage. So cut the water on and inspect for leakage before you wind the hose. Alright, so now we see we have a small drip here and there's a small drip here. It's time to retighten and make adjustments before we set it in place. I find it helpful to make these adjustments while the water's still turned on, so when you're turning it, you know when you reach the fixed point. Alright, now you notice I fixed it. I turned it until the drip went away. Now that we're ready to do the hose, you'll find it's easier if you have somebody take it straight out, or if you pull it straight out. That way you're not putting it in a bind, just cranking this by hand, and the guide wheel goes side to side, ensuring that the hose is evenly spread out. Now that we completed it, just drop it down. I wound it. I got just a little bit hanging out. And I tucked it in. And the other thing you'll notice, this thing doesn't have a bottom on it. It'd be easier just put like a bag of sand in the bottom if you live in a high wind area. But when you with slate, you gotta make adaptations that wasn't provided for. But we'll drop a bag of sand in, which I didn't pick up, so I didn't think about it. But we'll drop a bag of sand in this, and it'll be stationary and it won't go anywhere. All right, and I found a frog. This is your animal for today. There's a completed job, and my dog's checking it out already. But luckily all the hoses are tucked away where he can't reach it. Alright, we're going to tackle changing the door handle. And I got a tip on this one too. Here's what we had. We had these. Fancy door handles. The lever broke, so $250 in the hole, and $20 doorknob, $20 some doorknob in its place. So we go here. The thing you need to know about doorknobs, I think there's 3, but there might be more, but there's 3 main plunger designs. You got the square with a semicircle in it, and then you got some weird shape. I believe we're gonna look up today, because the expensive one and this looks to both be squares. Thus reducing one of the steps we got to take. Step 1 is like a jigsaw puzzle. You got to put that centerpiece in, and then you got these 2 outside pieces that you got to line up to these holes. Push them through. Now this side, well, that's the boy side. The girl side's kind of basic. All you got to do is hit the big hole, and then we're going to spin these dials until we get the screw to go through. Pack of hardware that comes with it. You're going to find 2 irregular shaped screws, and you'll have 4 regular looking screws. That was your plunger screws. This is your doorknob screws. They'll be longer. Now I've changed about 2,000 door knocks, because my company, we used to do foreclosures. To do this, look, we're going to put 1 screw through and into the hole, and then line up the centerpiece while pushing against the boy, and it'll look like this. We're going to tighten that 1 screw in, and then the other screw will just fall through easily. Pro tip, don't go all the way in with the screw, because you're going to need this wiggle room to be able to line up this hole right here. Once you feel the restriction as you hit the hole, stop and screw in that new screw completely, and then we'll go back and finish the first screw. Now, because we still got the expensive deadbolt, I didn't worry about a keyed entry. Plus, I got a glass door, and it's an interior divider between this and this, so it didn't really make sense, because if anybody broke in your house, they're going through the glass, especially with all the things here to throw through it. But sometime or another, I need to fix the paint from where the dog scratched it, and from the old doorknob to the new doorknob. But when you do this, you want to pull the doorknob off and paint it so you don't risk getting it on the lip. Now the only difference, had this been a keyed one, you would want to make sure that this turned and that it wasn't in a bind. Sometimes you can over tighten the screws and it'll put it in a bind. So before you shut the door, test the lock. Alright, the older me wants to kick younger me's ass, putting these little spiky bushes near the AC unit. If you want to get rid of them and do it yourself, we're going to take these leaves, take a big handful of them, bind them around in a circle like this, and then we're going to pull on it until the roots give out. It's got weak roots. Now that I've cleaned the area out, I've raked everything into a pile, I can finally reach the kudzu. This is a beautiful vine. Problem is, it's very intrusive and it sticks to the buildings. Now had this been on a tree, I would just took a machete and chopped the bottom of the roots and they would have died, and I'd came back a week or two later and just simply pulled them off. But that's not the case on a brick exterior. The tool you want to use for this is a flathead shovel. Now what we're going to do is, with great speed, I'm going to run that flathead through here and hit that big thick vine that won't come off by hand. And I've tried with the pry bar too. It's on there pretty good. But the shovel's going to make easy work of it. I don't have anybody to hold it, but I'm going to try to show it to you one-handed. Now, I just got that vine off. We broke the vine. Now I'll continue that off camera. There y'all go today. Landscaper quoted $500.
For what?
On the video. And pulling that vines and to remove those spiky things. And we just did it. I just did it in about 45 minutes.
He won.
If y'all stay with my video from the other day, here's the car. Here's the ones out of the car.
Herniated disc in his back.
You had that one.
What are those papers they throw out?
This and
Well,
this.
I'm glad so it hadn't gone through.
So the money we saved doing our own devining and removing those spiky bushes covered all of our expenses for our activities for all these videos. We're gonna mess that up this weekend because we got a big thing planned for the weekend. We're going to see the Vampire Diary people with the meet and greets and all that good stuff. I spent about 2 hours working on my AI images, doing like training courses on how to make them better. Like, I did this. I created the image and then I gave it motion. That was pretty cool. This might be my best one. The fire in the background and he's moving and it's like a tilt shot. But I'm not really 100% sure what I'm doing tomorrow, but check in, we'll find something to do and try to find something unique about it. Alright guys.